Situation that the two states of Maharashtra and Gujarat have been facing, where a high alert has been sounded even in Mumbai and neighboring districts in view of the approaching cyclonic storm Nisarga, which is expected to hit the state's coastline on the 2nd or the 3rd of June. Joining us here on the broadcast here on Republic is the DG NDRF, Mr. S.N. Pradhan is with us. Sir, thank you very much for taking out your time and speaking to us. We had a conversation with you when Cyclone Amphan was supposed to make its landfall, and within a few days now we are expecting Nisarg to make its landfall on the western coastline of India. Tell us about the preparedness of the NDRF.
Well, I think well in time the preparations had been made. The IMD prediction happened about 4 days ago, and after that we started our preparations, and we also had meetings at the highest level. The Home Minister held a meeting. The National Crisis Management Committee was chaired by the Cabinet Secretary, and two back-to-back video conferences were held by the Home Minister himself with the Chief Minister of either states. So then the NDRF teams that were requisitioned by the states had been already sent, and now they're all in place. 10 teams are in Maharashtra, with 6 teams on standby if required, and 11 teams are in Gujarat with 2 teams on standby. And as we speak, in the morning there was a fresh requisition from Gujarat state for another 5 teams, and they are being airlifted from Bhatinda in Punjab, and they should be reaching any time in the evening or late night. So all in all, there will be 16 teams in Gujarat at the end of the day, and 10 teams, that is 26 teams between the 2 states, with 8 teams on standby. So that is, I think, adequate. The cyclone is of a severe cyclone storm category, which is not as dangerous as the super cyclone or the extremely severe cyclone that we faced in Cyclone Amphan and Phony last year. So I think in disaster response terms, it is a negotiable cyclone, and we should be able to almost have nil deaths in terms of casualty, or in terms of protection of life and property. We should be able to optimize on this, given the strength of the cyclone. But as I always say, in disaster response, you don't take any chances. So that's why we have taken all precautions, and all the coastal districts are being evacuated, and all the awareness drives have started already, and teams are working on ground round the clock.
Mr. Pradhan, please stay on with us. We also have the IMD Chief, Mrityunjay Mohapatra, joining us here on the broadcast. Mr. Mohapatra, if you're talking about the current scenario, because cyclones formed in the Bay of Bengal side, that is the eastern coastline, are more frequent and more stronger in intensity. How would you explain the cyclone Nisarg on the western coastline, sir?
Yeah, currently it is a deep depression, and we are expecting within a few hours it may become a cyclone storm, and it will gradually intensify, and it will become a severe cyclone storm by tomorrow. And it will be having the wind speed of about 100 to 110, gusting to 120 kilometers per hour when it will be crossing coast of Maharashtra. And we are expecting that it may cross coast between Daman and Harihareswar and close to Alibag in Raigad district. So therefore, its impact will be maximum over Mumbai, Thane, Raigad districts, and also it will have impact on Ratnagiri, and also here the adjoining districts like Palghar and Gujarat districts like Valsad and adjoining areas. So however, the maximum wind speed of about 100 to 110 kmph may be realized over Thane, Raigad and Mumbai districts. Under its influence also, we are expecting heavy to extremely heavy rainfall. So today we can have heavy to very heavy rainfall, some isolated places in Konkan areas, and it will gradually increase. And tomorrow we are expecting heavy to very heavy rainfall at a few places over these districts like Mumbai, Thane, Raigad, Palghar and Ratnagiri districts, and also Madhya Maharashtra districts, especially North Madhya Maharashtra districts. And some places can have the extremely heavy rainfall, that rainfall exceeding 20 centimeters in 24 hours. So therefore, this high amount of rainfall will have the capacity to inundate the low-lying areas, especially the city and urban areas. In addition to that, during this cyclone making landfall, that is on afternoon of 3rd June, we are expecting a tidal wave of about 1 to 2 meters height above the astronomical tide, inundating the low-lying areas of this Thane, Raigad and Mumbai districts. So therefore, if you consider this type of wind, 100 to 110, goes to 120 kmph, it is a severe cyclone storm wind. And with this wind, you can expect uprooting of trees and breaking of tree branches, and there can be damage to hoardings, etc., and it can act as a projectiles also. And also, you can have large scale damage to the thatched houses and tin houses and asbestos houses. And there will be effect on the standing crops, horticultural crops, especially papaya and banana trees can be devastated or can be damaged. And standing crops will be damaged because of the saline water and also because of the heavy rainfall and winds. And the salt fen areas also will be affected because of this landfall of the cyclones. So with this type of damage expected, we have also suggested certain actions, and especially first action is that fishermen should not go into the sea. There will be complete suspension of fishing operations. We are providing fishermen warning for last few days, and most probably we will not have any fishermen in the sea. The second thing is that people should be indoors and in safe places, and people in low-lying areas which are not safe structures, they should move to the safe shelters. And people should believe in the authentic information being provided by central and state government without believing in rumors. And they should cooperate with the government authorities for management of the cyclone.
Mr. Pradhan, if you talk about the central and the state government agencies that are trying to take all possible steps and measures to prevent maximum damage, but which are the vulnerable areas where you have deployed your teams? Because we saw that lives were lost during Cyclone Amphan, so the kind of devastation and damage that has happened, people were still they had suffered because of the electricity supply that was cut, water supply that was cut. Are those preventive measures that have been applied here in the coastal areas in Maharashtra and Gujarat?
Absolutely. You see, in the case of Amphan, two states were also affected, Odisha and West Bengal. Odisha, of course, did not bear the impact of the brunt of the cyclone, but they did a thing very well, and that they evacuated the entire population, which could have been impacted very much in time, using the local teams of NDRF and SDRF, etc., and fire services. And I think the reluctance of the local population to leave, especially the poor, because they do not know what will happen to the properties when they come back, that is very understandable. But I think the state has to exercise its fiat and must ensure that lives are protected and zero casualty approach should be ensured. So that is why the NDRF teams are there well in time in all such events, well in time, enough leverage of time and chances to be able to save maximum lives, if not all lives. So this is the same case even this time, and I would urge all the state governments, both the state governments, to utilize the NDRF teams to the maximum. We all know that in the wind speed of 100 to 120, as Mr. Mahapatra was telling just now, trees will be impacted, branches may be thrown asunder, and there may be projectiles, especially in urban areas. Like in Calcutta, we saw 120 kilometers wind, but there was some devastation of the trees and the electrical lines and telephone lines. So now that we are talking in terms of Mumbai urban area being in the line of impact, similar precautions may have to be taken, and we must learn a lesson from whatever we experienced in the past. So I would urge all the state governments to exercise extreme precaution and use the NDRF teams to the hilt. Enough NDRF teams have been given, and I think if we do that and do the due diligence well in time, we should be optimized on the saving of life and property, certainly.
Mr. Mahapatra, it is very unusual for a cyclone to make landfall in or near Mumbai, even on the Maharashtra coastline as well. But the southwest monsoon has already made its onset on Kerala. Can you tell us also the difference that we can see of the cyclone that was witnessed in the state of West Bengal and Odisha, and also going off to Bangladesh, that was Amphan? And how different is this cyclone, that Nisarg, that will be making its landfall on the 2nd or 3rd of June?
Both these cyclones developed during this onset phase of monsoon. And if you compare the intensity, Amphan was quite severe. It was a very severe cyclone storm with a wind speed of 155 to 165, gusting 185 kmph, whereas here we are expecting wind speed of only 100 to 120 kmph. Therefore, it is just a severe cyclone storm against Amphan being a very severe cyclone storm. Therefore, damage accordingly will be different. But another thing I just want to mention here that Mumbai being a low-lying area and generally being affected by the tidal waves, and when the cyclone approaches, and we will have also the additional tidal waves of 1 to 2 meters. So therefore, the low-lying areas in this case in Mumbai city especially and nearby suburban areas, you will have the impact of combined impact of both rainfall and the storm surge or the tidal waves. So therefore, low-lying areas we have to take care of the people, and people should be in safe place. And if you look at the history, it is not the first time that Mumbai, Thane, Raigad area is being affected by the cyclones. In recent history, if we just look at, in November 2009, the cyclone Fayan moved across Maharashtra state. It was it made landfall very close to Alibag, just south of Mumbai. At that time also Mumbai city was affected, and Alibag, Raigad district was also affected. So therefore, it is not historically first time or something like that. There has been earlier 3 severe cyclones in and around Mumbai, if you look at our data from 1891 onwards. So usually, if you look at the number of cyclones are more over Bay of Bengal and less over Arabian Sea. Out of 5, 4 develop over Bay of Bengal, 1 over Arabian Sea. Out of 1 over Arabian Sea, usually we get cyclones moving towards Oman or moving towards Gujarat. Frequency is more. So therefore, certainly frequency is less for Maharashtra or Karnataka coast. And out of that, if you calculate month-wise frequency, certainly it will less. So therefore, there is no need to calculate month-wise frequency. If you go by yearly frequency, in 2009, the last cyclone which affected Mumbai and adjoining areas was in 2009 November.
Mr. Pradhan, if the system does intensify into a cyclonic storm, some of the coastal districts of Maharashtra will come directly in its line of its predicted path. What are the extra precautions that have been taken in those areas, especially where it may make its landfall? Otherwise, as Mr. Mohapatra was pointing out, that it is very unusual and unlikely that the landfall will be made directly in Maharashtra's line. Will shift focus swerve towards Gujarat or even Oman?
Well, no, he was talking about a different cyclone, but this one is aimed towards Raigad and Palghar, and that is the prediction of the IMD, forecast of the IMD, and we are sticking with that. That's why the extra teams have been given to Raigad and Palghar, and that's the extra precaution we are taking in those high-impact districts, as we call it. And what is also important is that the evacuation starts very well in time, as I was mentioning earlier. And that has started happening. In fact, in the video conferencing yesterday with the Chief Minister and the Chief Secretary of Maharashtra, the Home Minister was very clear that if required, the teams can be, the population which is say a kilometer, within a range of kilometer from the coast, may be withdrawn and taken to safer places, even up to 3 kilometers or more. That was the same directive that he gave to the Gujarat government. So these precautions are essential. I know we may be erring on the side of extreme precaution, but that is required. And because in the Arabian Sea, one of the things that Mr. Mohapatra has been mentioning, probably he didn't mention this time, is that in the Arabian Sea, the predictability of the cyclones are less, unlike the Bay of Bengal. And they can swerve and turn in any direction, and the wind speed can change because Arabian Sea is a little more unpredictable. So that is why it makes sense to prepare for the worst, and that is what we have done in this case.
Mr. Mohapatra, if you want to add to that, because there is an associated depression lying parallel to the west coast, which is intensifying and moving northwards along the coastline. And you had also mentioned about the Vayu cyclone as well, which is skirted off the Gujarat coast when it curved and later had weakened. But also, what is your understanding of the possibility of more such pre-monsoon cyclonic storms in the coming years due to warmer ocean temperatures? May 20th, we saw Cyclone Amphan and now Nisarg.
No, let me at first clarify that we are continuously telling that this cyclone will make landfall over North Maharashtra and adjoining South Gujarat coast. So there is no deviation from that. And from time to time, we are repeating that. And today, we are telling that it will cross North Maharashtra and South Gujarat coast between Daman and Harihar and close to Alibag. That we are mentioning very clearly. There is no change in our forecast so far. Wind speed also, we are continuing the same thing, 100 to 110, goes to 120 kilometers per hour. So as you asked, this was the discussion about the past cyclones, but with respect to current cyclone, our forecast is consistent. We are telling that it will cross coast tomorrow afternoon, Maharashtra and adjoining Gujarat coast between Daman and Harihar close to Alibag. And as far as the cause of cyclones are concerned, there are many factors which determine the genesis and intensification of the cyclones. Sea surface temperature is not the only factor to determine the genesis and intensity of the cyclones. But however, as you pointed out, there are certain studies with respect to the impact of climate change on tropical cyclones. And the output of the study is that there is some kind of increase in intense cyclones over the Arabian Sea. And there is no such change over the Bay of Bengal. And whether it can be attributed to climate change or not, there is difference of opinion. So worldwide, it is a unanimous opinion that there is a low confidence to say that the changes in the frequency of intense cyclones or Arabian Sea could be attributed to the climate change.
Mr. Pradhan, if I can come to you, that's my last question here as we are closing the broadcast. But looking at the current scenario, because as Mr. Mohapatra is saying that yes, in certain areas, heavy to very heavy rainfall will also be witnessed. The IMD has already issued a red alert in those areas. But the situation right now, because the team will start working as of now rather than wait when the cyclone will be making its landfall. So currently the work that is being done and the cooperation that you're getting from the state administration side, sir.
I think that is absolutely spot on, and the evacuation has started, the awareness drives have started, as I have told, and the population is being shifted as we speak. And hopefully by evening, afternoon today, most of the work would have been done. And if there is something left, we'll be completing that by tomorrow morning. The entire administration is geared up, I'm happy to say that, and the state administration in both the states are not only cooperating, they are very, very proactive, and it is a synergistic kind of a template that is working. I always say that this is the template for federal and state cooperation, and this is working very well. And yesterday, the Home Minister very clearly said to both the Chief Ministers that we are in this together and we have to fight this together. And that is the spirit with which all the agencies, state and central, are doing this.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us here on the broadcast. The DG NDRF, Mr. S.N. Pradhan, and the IMD Chief, Mrityunjay Mohapatra, for giving us the clarification and the severity and the intensity of the cyclone that is now forming in the Arabian Sea. We'll be keeping our viewers also ahead on the latest updates that we are following up from both states of Maharashtra and Gujarat. Thank you very much, sir.